Okay, everyone, this is Average Jen back with you. We are going to episode 2 now from the Spotify podcast, and the name of that is Religion, My Thoughts on God. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, okay. All right, let me figure this out. Share the screen. Share screen. Yes, that's what I'm asking you to do. Share screen with this. Okay. And we will go down here to play. Okay, episode description. Some ramblings from my mind. I wanted to talk from my heart today. Regardless of how you may feel about yourself, you are loved. You are not worthless. The world needs to slow down and really think hard about what matters the most. I don't know if that really describes this episode or not, but we'll find out. Oh, here's the sound.
Hi there, and welcome to I'm Only Human, a podcast that attempts to explain how to coexist with other humans. This podcast is going to dive into topics like: is it possible to overcome human nature? Are rules and laws necessary for taming bad behaviors, or are they simply a control mechanism crafted by other disturbed minds? Why do we fight with each other? And how does traditional religion impact us? Can social disease be healed through individual recovery? My name is Jen, and I'm an average human. Before I begin, I would like to state that I will be talking about controversial things such as, but not limited to, religion, God, the Bible, 12 step programs, and politics. I am not an expert, and I don't claim to be one. I will, however, be referencing Alcoholics Anonymous because it is the granddaddy of all other 12 step programs. I will also be quoting things from the Bible and mentioning God along with different religions. I'm not trying to promote a particular program, nor am I trying to convert anyone. I believe religion gives us a foundation, and 12 step recovery guides people down a path to self actualization. Social disease has been with us since the dawn of time, but recovery has still been achieved by millions of people. Through recovery, healing is possible. I believe that changed minds and attitudes can change our world. I don't know why, but I just feel like talking. And I want to start a podcast. I really do. I'm just not sure what direction to go with it. And as I was typing up my script, it seemed to turn into more of like a confession of some sort. And I don't know if anyone is interested in that, so I'm just going to do this separately. We'll see what happens. If I feel like publishing any of this, I'm just going to ramble. So I said I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm 48 years old, and I'm learning how to enjoy life. It's not that I've actually learned how, but I'm in the process of learning. And all I wanted to do was share that information with other people because I know that I'm not alone. I've heard other stories, I've listened to other podcasts about different kinds of recoveries, and everybody has a story to tell. But the underlying thing that is the same throughout any story is the feelings that went behind the decisions. And people don't set out to be bad human beings. I really don't think they do. They just don't know any different. And that's sad. But it's been that way since the dawn of time. I mean, there was the religious God, there's the Bible. The Bible gives us this wild story and account for how the world was made and why we're here. It gave us some rules and some guidelines, but it also, I don't know. I don't know if the Bible gave us fear or if we were a fearful society from early humans. I don't know how they existed, but they existed. So there was an earth pre-biblical times. And our creator, the one that the Bible's written about, was probably nothing more than like some rich people from another planet that decided that they wanted to find a different world to populate. I don't know if they outgrew their planet or if they destroyed their planet or if they're just curious. Maybe they're all still alive. We don't know. The early humans in the Bible, they lived 1,000 or 2,000 years. It wasn't unusual. So there is some sort of like other human race out there, which we're clones of, or maybe I don't know how it all works. But I think we're kind of evolving, at least mentally. And I just wanted to connect with people on a spiritual level because I was learning through my recovery program. And my recovery program is a 12-step program, but I'm not here to talk about a particular program. All of them are based off of Alcoholics Anonymous. And Alcoholics Anonymous was based off of this group called the Oxford Group. And they were based off of another group, and they were based from another group. And so it goes on and on. And with the Oxford Group, I think it came back to the Keswick Convention. And that still happens today. People from all over the world, they come together and they worship together. And there's no mass shootings, there's no fighting. It's like a peaceful thing. But I don't understand how this can be when the rest of the world is fighting because we all worship differently. It makes no sense. So, yeah, that's probably just not going anywhere right now. I'm just rambling. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I'm kind of it's kind of scattered. Oh, the podcast I listened to are the Recovery Show. That was the first one I discovered. And through the Recovery Show, I discovered Silver Speak. And then I discovered Recovered. And then through one of those shows, I don't know which one, I learned about Fragmented to Whole. And those are pretty awesome podcasts for if you need some recovery and you don't want to have to go to meetings, because not everyone appreciates going to these meetings that a lot of these 12-step programs have. But the whole purpose for meetings is for fellowship and to learn that there is a world outside of whatever the addiction is or behavior. It's a way to communicate with other people that are trying to learn how to become decent human beings as well. And we may not like everyone still, but we accept each other and there's a structure that works. And within this whole fellowship, there's this amazing spirit, and you have to feel it in order to believe it. And you can say, I'm all full of it or whatever, but that's up to you. If you wanted to experience it, you could. It's free and it's very beneficial.
It's free. It's
I know it's
free.
opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I'm learning to see the world from a different perspective because I think of people as things that are in my way. They're just objects, they don't mean anything. And that's a pretty rude thing to say. But isn't that what we think of each other anyway? The only time we give another human being consideration is if we have some sort of contact with that person. Like maybe you're at a grocery store or something and you're in the checkout line. You do a little back and forth communication with the cashier or the bagger or whatever, if those even exist anymore. So you have a little communication, and yeah, they're pleasant, but you don't think about them. You don't think about their lives or anything like that. You walk out the door, you never think about each other again. And it's not wrong, that's just how things work. But when you're on a spiritual level, even though you may not know a person, you can kind of get a feel for them. Like recovered people just have a different aura around them, I suppose. I hear a lot of recovery in music that I listen to. I love, oh my God, what is it? Only a Symptom of Being Human. That's Shinedown. That's an awesome song. They have a lot of good songs. But anyway, through all music and stuff, there's this feeling from the music, and there's messages. It's more than just a beat and tunes. Yeah, people, they want to share their feelings. Like these people who have recovered, we want to share the message, which is you don't have to live the way you're living. Regardless of your situation, you are loved. You deserve to be loved. You are not that worthless thing that you think you are and that you think other people think you are. It's just not true. That's a scenario in your head. When I grew up, I was the middle child and not a great family life, even though I was oblivious to most of the violence that happened. It happened when I was young enough to not remember. But I grew up in dysfunction. And where was I going with this? I don't hate my parents. They were just people, they were just kids. They don't know any more than me. And we're just all lost together. And I think I just drifted because I don't remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about parents screwing up because parents are people too. I made my mistakes being a parent. I wasn't a very good parent. I was a kid myself. And let's face it, to be honest, I'm pretty selfish. Most people are selfish people. The minute you have a kid, stop thinking you have to stop being selfish, and it's just not possible at times. I mean, kids, they don't know any different and they're selfish just as well. But the thing is, we punish them for their human behaviors when we ourselves do the same things. It's very hard to teach someone the difference between right and wrong. And I think that's where religion came in, is to teach people like a moral basis. And that's okay. I mean, I believe there's a God, but I don't think that he's the one that created us. The universe, there's so much power in the universe and Mother Nature. Something had to create all that. We didn't just come to be. Something had to create all that. So there is a God somewhere out there, God of the universe, whatever, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it. But traditional God, God of the Bible, it's just another story. I probably raised a lot of eyebrows there. It's all in perception, though, because how many different religions are there? And do they all share the same story? And why not? If it's all based off one book, if there's only one history, why are there so many perceptions of the same thing? I don't understand it. And we're killing each other over this stuff. And why? Why does it matter? I had mentioned in a podcast that I did that that is as stupid as killing people who don't like the color blue or who do like the color blue, however you want to face it. There's people that like blue and there's people that don't like the color blue. And one group wants to kill the other one because they don't like that color. And so anyone with blue eyes, anyone who enjoys wearing that color should be slaughtered. And how stupid is that? That's as stupid as us fighting each other for our gods. In the end, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because we all die. It's our spirit, it's our soul that doesn't die. That's the immortal part of us. And that is the part that is so sick right now. And recovery is what focuses on healing that internal part, that soul, so you can be at peace. I mean, the rich people of the world, they are not happy people. If they were, they wouldn't be doing all the same crazy things that us mediocre, average, nobody, and poor people do. Everyone has the same feelings. The President of the United States has feelings. Oprah has feelings. People have feelings. And the podcast maintenance phase, they touch a lot on like feelings and how it feels from another perspective, and um how thin people push the agenda onto fat people and back and forth. And there's no reason to be fighting as long as people are healthy. Who cares what your size is? So, Maintenance Phase, you're an awesome podcast. I listened to In Our Own World only a few episodes, but from what I gather, they're kids of celebrities. And growing up as a child of a celebrity is not all fun and games. I mean, it can be a scary world. And just think about that. They have to grow up in the public eye. Imagine that, like going through puberty on camera for the world to see. How embarrassing. And we don't think anything about it. I was listening to something it was something on the news this morning. They were talking about how people will slow down and cause another accident to see what is going on with another car accident on the other side of the road. I don't know why human beings are just drawn to chaos and disaster. Maybe that's what the devil is. It's just chaos and disaster. It's our human side. I mean, was there ever an Adam and Eve? I don't know. Was there a garden? I don't know. But it just seems like perhaps they were just people that were created to maintain a garden, to maintain the earth, until another thing, human whatever, pointed out you don't have to live like that. You know, there is another world beyond just your little box. And then they open their eyes. I don't know. But anyway, they say that was the downfall of mankind. I don't know. Human nature has always been human nature, probably even back in cavemen days. It is what it is. No one's ever going to get along. Then we're never going to have a utopia. But do we have to kill each other? I mean, honestly, what's wrong with just leaving people alone? If you don't agree with them, who cares? Live your life. Don't worry about what they're doing. Just live your life. I used to be so worried about what everyone else thought about me. I was so miserable. It sucks trying to be a people pleaser. It made me very miserable. And I did a lot of bad things, and I hurt a lot of people because I couldn't say no to certain things. I mean, I don't have a chemical addiction. I don't have anything like that. I'm just kind of messed up in the head from, living life and being raised by imperfect humans. And they were raised by imperfect humans, and on it goes. At some point, we have to say, something's got to change. We have to do something different. And this is why I want to bring awareness to people about recovery, because I really think that if we were to change ourselves, just focus on ourselves, don't worry about the other guy, I really think that the world could change. Because I think that once you've gone through this awakening or this eye opening experience, you realize that the important things in life are not of this world. The things that matter are relationships, they're people, connections, real connections, not money. Like I said, all the money in the world can't buy happiness. Look at celebrities. How can you impress people when you have all the money in the world and so do they? That's when you try to control people, I suppose. But anyway, if we were to help our fellow human rather than hoard everything for ourselves, maybe we'd be a happier place. I'm not saying give all your wealth away and stuff like that, But don't be freaking greedy. Jeez. It's hard enough to survive in this world. And Americans, we take things for granted anyway. But can we get real? I mean, what do we really need in life? We need food, shelter, water. Beyond that, we need love. We need companionship. We need acceptance. I think it was Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where the point is to get to self actualization, where you can be happy just being yourself. Because once you're happy with yourself, nothing else really matters that much. Once your basic needs are met, I mean, I have a house to live in. I don't have to live in a mansion. What's the point? That's just more stuff I gotta clean. I'm only one person. I only need one car. What's the point of having multiple vehicles if I only can drive one? That's just my opinion. I have a lot of opinions on things. So I was thinking about God, and I was wondering what if humans simply love God? And when I say God, I'm not talking God of the Bible, I'm not talking religious God. I'm talking about a person or a thing, a power that I understand. This power is restorative, and it's just so much easier to call it God. So in recovery programs, when people are talking about God, God this, God that, God, yeah, people's minds are going to shut down, but they're not talking about the God of the Bible. They're talking about their own vision of what God means to them. So what if we just simply love God instead of worship him? What if we cherish, treasure God? It sounds way more gentle than having to worship. Because the commandment, you must worship,
There is no
seems kind of
commandment.
bogus to me. I don't want to be told what I have to believe. I want to come to my own conclusions. And my conclusions may be different than someone else's, but that doesn't mean I have to hate them. There's really no point. I don't know how else to stop this stupid fighting that we all do. We're fighting over human commodities. We're fighting over money. What if we just try to fight the badness within each of us and learn how to respect one another and get along? I suppose maybe I'm living in a fairy tale world. I still don't like people, but that's okay. It's not going to ruin my day. I get really irritated when I'm driving because everyone's always in such a hurry. This person has to be more important than that person, and 5 car lengths ahead is what it's going to take to get someone to where they have to go faster. And meanwhile, you're creating a traffic jam because you're in too much of a hurry to let someone merge or pass. You're too important to see the traffic signs that say merge because there's traffic coming. No, you're the one that's got to be first. Just very inconsiderate of other human beings. And even though I see other human beings as objects that are in my way, I still respect their space. When I drive, I'm not driving right on somebody's butt because I I don't like it when people do that to me, so I don't do that to someone else. I give plenty of space so that if something's going to happen, I have time to stop. I can see my exit coming up ahead of time. There's no need to weave in and out of traffic. It's not a race car. There's speed limits for a reason. Speed limits are out of respect for other human beings. It's not there to make you go slower. Society just needs to learn how to slow down. We're going too fast for ourselves. We're pushing too hard and we're all cranky because of it. I think when people mention the good old days, they're thinking about, they say simple times, but what they mean is a little more peaceful. There wasn't as much worry in the world. Back when people could just like get together and hang out in a park for an afternoon, not worrying about social media or what this person or that person's going to think. Back when neighbors talked to each other and you knew your community, they're talking about times like that before all of this violence, before everyone started to feel sorry for themselves. Everyone started to play the victim role. And then that's taught to the next generation and the following generation. Slavery happened. We're sorry it happened. It's still happening. But that doesn't give anyone the right to still be a douche. I mean, it happened to people that were ancestors. It's not happening to you. Whatever. That's my thought on it. I think that's good for right now. I'm out of things to rant about. In closing, I would like to say that the opinions expressed here were strictly of my own making or by my future guests. Take what you like and leave the rest. You may come to realize that you may not like me or what I want to share. Let's talk to each other, reason things out, but let there be no gossip or criticism of one another. Let the fellowship of ethical human behavior and the serenity from positive human interaction help you grow and chill out, one experience at a time. I would like to thank my higher power for guiding me through this podcast. I hope to spread the message of love, hope, and understanding by touching one life at a time.
Okay, where are we here? We're right there. I can stop sharing this screen. So there you have it. That's my thoughts on religion back from when I started this podcast. Please join me again for another episode. Bye-bye.